Well, good evening, everybody. Man, I know it's late, but I tell you, I've had some technical difficulties tonight. I wasn't even sure whether or not I was going to be able to come on, to be honest with you. And I was going to be very disappointed because I am determined to make it throughout the duration of my 30-day challenge. I don't even remember what challenge day it is. I just know that I'm still in the midst of it. I got a little ways to go. I hope you all are going to be jumping on here with me soon and very soon. Again, I know it's late, but I tried to get on earlier, but I'm just now getting some things worked out. Y'all know how we do when you pop on. Please make sure you type a greeting in the comments. I certainly want to hear from you tonight. And y'all, I promise y'all, I really promise y'all, I am not going to be on here long tonight. The only way that this is going to be extended tonight is that you all are going to have to really make a lot of interesting comments. And I'm hoping that you all are interactive with us tonight. Vera, good evening to you. Thanks for throwing up that hashtag. Big sis, Angela. Thanks for throwing up that hashtag. Good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. Joyce Lee is in the house. And today, thank you for throwing up that hashtag. Tara Kazam, Tracy, Lachelle, and thank you for joining us here tonight. Pam, you're in the house. Mocha Crew is showing up right now. Thank you, my Mocha Crew community. Y'all know how we do. As you're coming on, if you know someone that you can reach out to and let them know that I am on live tonight, albeit very late. I'll say it again, it's very late, but this time it absolutely could not be helped. I had every intention of coming on at least 45 minutes ago. Got kind of tangled up in doing some things. Y'all know how it is. Sometimes you just get involved with doing life itself. Ron and Jackie, and then let me pause for the calls. Lady Ann, of course, has joined us here tonight, and you all know she always gets a special greeting every time she pops in on us. And so I'm delighted once again. Toya and Tisha and Brittany, thank you for joining us tonight. Again, I know it's late, but in this case, I guess better late than never, because if I hadn't shown up, then I wouldn't have been meeting my 30-day challenge. So I'm going to meet it. I'm going to tackle this thing, and I believe that it's going to continuously be a blessing to everyone. I want to thank you all again for showing up with me each and every time that I come on. Because of you, I'm getting this thing ramped back up. And I think I'm just about there, ready to make this happen on a regular basis again. Mocha Moments is in the house. And I'm telling you, I don't know about you all, but I've been having a great time with it over these past couple of weeks we're in. I've been meeting this challenge. Those of you that may be joining us right now, again, I just ask you to do one thing. If you're part of the Mocha Crew, part of the Mocha Crew community, if you will, as you come in, please throw a comment in there to greet us. I want to know who I'm talking to tonight. Please throw up that hashtag Mocha Crew if you're a part of our community. Well, what is the Mocha Crew community all about? I tell you all the time, each and every day when I come on, I remind you that my primary objective is just to bring value to the lives of other people. It is what I do. It's what I've been assigned to do. I have been commissioned to do, and it is in my heart to do it. And those of you that are a part of our Mocha Crew community, um, you are committing yourselves to do what I do in terms of doing all that you can to add value to the lives of other people. Kathy, thank you for joining us tonight. Jackie, Player Hater, thanks for joining us again. Share this link with somebody else. Be a blessing to somebody else. Add value to somebody else's life. I guarantee you that they will appreciate it whenever you do. All right. Tonight, let's go ahead and get into what I want to talk about because I don't want to keep you very long. Um, I want to throw out this question to you. What do you do with messy people? What do you do with messy people? I've had my share of having to deal with messy people, and it's not fun at all. You know, I can recall a time when there was a person that was in my life that was very, very close to me at the time, and for whatever reason, um, he thought it necessary to uh, start some mess in terms of myself and how other people viewed me. And when he did, he would pretend to be one thing while he was in my face. But when he would get behind my back, he would say something totally different. Or he would even now tell others that was saying things about them that I had never said. And before I knew it, I had people upset with me uh, for no reason at all, as far as I knew. I mean, they thought they had a reason, but the reality is they had no reason to be upset with me because the things that were said to them concerning me, or things that I supposedly said about them to someone else, I had never said. I had never said. There are people, I'm quite sure you all have experienced this, where they seem to always want to keep something going. They either will get it started, or if they don't get it started themselves, um, they will keep whatever started going. I know you all are already responding with regards to what to do with people like that. Some of you saying, leave them alone, keep them at bay, avoid them, love them from a distance, pray for them, disassociate yourself from them, distance yourself, and all of those are wonderful, wonderful answers. Brother Ron says, when I find them out, I'm selective as to what I share with them. That's very wise. That's very, very, very wise. I think that's probably the wisest thing that you can do for yourself, is decide to be very selective with how you deal with that individual, period. I love that answer. Terry says, let me start throwing some of these up on the screen. If I know the character of the person they're being messy about, I'll shut it down. We're not doing that. Now, ooh, wow. Now, it takes a lot of guts, a lot of boldness to shut messiness down. And frankly, in my opinion, it would be nice if we all had that kind of boldness to shut messiness down when you know that what's being brought to you is a bunch of mess. When you know the character of the individual who's bringing the mess to you. You know, here's the thing that I've often heard older people say, and I believe it's absolutely true. The older people used to say that anyone who will bring a bone will carry a bone. And what they meant by that is that if a person will bring mess to you about other people, then they will certainly take mess to other people about you. And it doesn't have to be true. It's just something that has to be interesting enough for them to get things started and going in a way that they can see the chaos and confusion that's created as a result of them doing what they do. Michelle, I was so blessed by taking a couching class a while back. I would and want to be a Mocha crew member. Oh, you can do that. Absolutely. Absolutely. All you have to do is just start throwing up that hashtag Mocha Crew. You can start tonight. We'd love to have you be a part of the Mocha Crew, the Mocha community. And then again, I just ask you to commit to being a blessing to somebody else as often as you can. I would ask that you do all that you can to add value to the lives of other people. And there's a multiplicity of ways that we can add value to the lives of other people. Just being able to share a smile, just being able to be warm and kind to other people. I try to do whatever I can um, whether I know a person or not. I try to do whatever I can to just be a blessing to other people. I'm the individual that if I'm approaching a door, and regardless as to how many people are about to come in that door behind me, if I get to the door first, I'm going to open the door and hold the door for as many people as want to come through that door while I'm standing holding that door. And sometimes people don't express any kind of appreciation for my kindness in doing so, because I don't have to do what I do. No one ever has to be kind to anyone. But as it's been said so many times, and I've heard it so many times, it's just nice to be nice, you know. And so again, back to Michelle, yeah, I just ask you be a person that would be committed to adding value to other people. In doing so, you won't ever become one of those messy people that we're talking about tonight. Yeah, you won't ever become that person. And so yeah, it can be challenging sometimes because um you can't always totally distance yourself. This applies to just like some of the other things that we've talked about over the past few evenings and over the past through a few Mocha moments, wherein sometimes the person that's causing you the most grief, you can't distance yourself too far from them because they could be a family member. They could be an immediate family member. They could be a very close family member. You know, they could be a church member. Now, some of you might say, well, it's kind of easy to distance myself from church uh, members. That may be true. But is it always the absolute right thing to do? Because what message are we sending when we start to distance ourselves from people? And, you know, that whole thing about distancing yourself from people, it can manifest itself in a number of ways, and it can send the wrong message. Some people, when they distance themselves from certain people, they'll even stop speaking to the individual. And that's not necessary all the time. You know, you don't have to be constantly engaged with an individual to create some distance with them. As a matter of fact, you disengage some, but you don't have to be constantly disengaged or completely disengaged. Man, I tell y'all, it's late tonight and I'm kind of fumbling and stumbling through my thoughts, but I hope you're getting the message of what I'm trying to share with you tonight. You don't have to stop speaking to an individual. You don't even have to stop being kind to an individual. But sometimes all you need to do is let them know that, like Terry Kazam said earlier, that you're not one who's going to put up um, with a bunch of foolishness. Player hater, you got a question here. Why is it when I hold the door for one person, a Saturday Walmart amount of people follow behind him? Well, you know, I mean, it just happens at times. Now, the reality is, most places where we go, we don't have to hold the door because they've got these automatic doors that open, you know, for people. So when people approach them, the sensor picks them up, picks up the motion, and the door opens. But nevertheless, it may seem that way, but maybe your kindness and your patience is being tested at the time. How kind are you going to be? How patient are you going to be? How insensitive or uncaring are you going to be? And I'm telling you, here's where it really gets challenging: is when you're holding that door and people are walking through, and no one bothers to say thank you. James Calhoun, good evening to you. Thanks for joining us tonight. I can't see the picture, so I don't know if this is junior or senior. If it's senior, it's my uncle. If it's junior, it's my cousin. So identify yourself. But I don't know what city you're located in now, but if you don't mind, throw that up there, identify yourself, and then tell me where you're actually living now, because I think I've lost track. That's kind of bad. Okay. Um, Player hater says, I feel that you still have to distance yourself from those people. They know that they have that issue. They just are cut off from intimate information. Well, yeah, and that's okay. That's okay to stop sharing with them certain things that you don't deem is absolutely necessary for them to know. You stop granting them the opportunity to create mess within your atmosphere. You know, that makes a whole lot of sense. Um, but to totally cut people off to the degree where you don't even speak to them anymore, you know, it doesn't hurt anybody to speak to other people, regardless as to how you may be feeling about them at the time. As a matter of fact, it shows a great level of maturity when you continue to speak to and even be nice to people that you know are messy. Now, I'm not saying that you have to go out of your way and just totally cater to them, because that would be ridiculous. As a matter of fact, I think it would help to perpetuate their messiness, because they feel like that people are going to accept them whatever way they are, and they'll be able to get away with whatever they want to get away with. No, you don't want to send that message, because that's a bad message as well. But you don't have to deny or disregard your own character just to prove a point to a person that's messy. Um, I think the best answers we've heard tonight, in my estimation, was sometimes you have to create a little distance, but then when absolutely necessary, you have to check that person and let them know that you're not that person that entertains a lot of messiness. You're not entertained by the messiness. And I think that's the best thing that we can do. Now, that's just my opinion. I know everybody is going to handle things uh, in a way that is best for them. I'm just sharing my opinion tonight, because, you know, there are times that I've had to deal with messy people that I really wanted to lash out, but because of who I am, because of my own character, I had to resist that temptation of lashing out and doing something that I know just was not in me to do. Tisha says, I know people who have a strong cutoff game. Yeah. Whoever they cut off is basically dead to them. Me, I just distance myself. Um, yeah, that's a good point. There are some people that do have a very strong cutoff game, and they don't play with you at all. Now, I'm not one that ever gets to the point where I deem people as dead, but I can I can create, how do I want to say this? I can come to the conclusion that you're not significant enough for me to allow you to trouble me constantly and to wreak havoc in my life. Now, I think that's a good way for me to explain that. And if you want to call that a strong cutoff game, then I guess I'm that person. I have a strong cutoff game as well, because, you know, I'll speak to you, but I'll kind of shut things down. I'm only going to give you what I deem to be absolutely necessary. Someone else alluded to that a few minutes ago. Only sharing with people um, certain things, particular things, things that aren't very important, things that are just, uh, in all actuality, just general information that's out there and available to whomever. Yeah. Um, kind of bouncing around here. But yeah, distance yourself, kind of back up, kind of make yourself not as available as or accessible to an individual as you were in times past? Okay, Lachelle. Now that's funny. Lachelle said, "How about invisible?" Oh, okay, just go ghost on the person altogether. And some people are very good at doing that. And especially with our electronic devices, we know how to go ghost quick, fast, and in a hurry. How do we do it? We just stop answering phone calls. We just stop responding to emails. We just are not available. If they happen to drop by the house, we make ourselves conveniently unavailable. You know, I know there are people that will look through the cracks of their blinds and see a person standing out there on their porch or whatever and will not open the door because they just don't want to be bothered with that individual. Now, here's what I would encourage you to do. I would encourage each and every one of you that are on here tonight that you not be that individual that is messy. I think we all, again, can take the advice from Ted Kazan, and that is be bold enough and strong enough to shut mess down when mess is brought your way. And you don't have to be nasty when you shut people down. You have to be firm, but not nasty. Lachelle, Lachelle says, just share the time and weather. Okay. Oh, okay. Lachelle, Lachelle has been my administrative assistant for the past 32 years, and I'm going to say this: I think she's been hanging around me too long because that sounds like something that I would say. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Joyce says you give them a wave and bye and keep it moving. Hey, wow, that's a thought. Keep it moving. Have somewhere else you need to be quick, fast, and in a hurry. When I don't want to be bothered with people, I become conveniently busy. Ter Kazam said, if I feel wronged by a person and my attitude, personality changes because of their presence, I check myself on it. Now that's good. Now that's good right there. Uh, Again, words of wisdom, but it takes a lot of inner strength for a person to do that because sometimes we don't handle things the way we should, and we're not willing to check ourselves when we're out of alignment. I think all of us at times get out of alignment just based on uh, becoming irritated with things. And it makes sense because we're all a human. We all have emotions, we all have feelings. And there comes a time where you're just tired of dealing with certain things. And so you may react or respond not so much outwardly, or what's the word I'm trying to find here? Demonstratively. Okay, putting on a great display that I'm just irritated with that individual. But there's something on the inside of you that just doesn't feel right when you know you have to deal with that individual, and your attitude and your spirit can change just from their presence. And you have to check yourself. Joyce says it's too much energy. Evelyn says that's true. Doing all that is a lot of energy. It takes a whole lot. Michelle says, true, I confronted them, but I don't know if it went over right. Yeah, that's something that you constantly have to be monitoring. You have to monitor yourself, make sure you're doing things the right way and saying things the right way. And if you ever come upon a time wherein you realize that you haven't responded in a way that you should, then that's when you have to be kind and compassionate and thoughtful enough to go back and apologize to people. I'm gonna take a few more comments and then we're gonna wrap this up. Um, Kathy says, I have to make sure I think before I speak. Sometimes it's not what I say, it's the tone. That can be very true. Irritating people will get you irritated. Now, let me throw this out real quick. And again, um, I'm going to close this in just a little bit. Terry Kazam says, "Oh, I haven't perfected it, but I'm working on it." And that's what we're all doing. We are working on it. But just out of curiosity, real quickly, I want to throw this out. Is it is there ever a time where you do have to be stern and firm and just let the chips fall where they may? I'm just throwing it out. Something to think about. Terry Kazam says, I have to pause and let my mind process before I open my mouth. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I think you all are responding to the statement that I just made with the absolutes and the yeses, with regards to me saying that sometimes you have to be stern and firm. Or I asked the question, is there a time when you have to be stern and firm and just let the chips fall where they may? Hmm. Tisha says, I'm always empathizing and giving people the benefit of the doubt. Well, again, um, as with many things in life uh, concerning dealing with people, I don't think there is a cut and dry way of doing things. I don't think there's just one right answer to these questions. I don't think there's one right situation, um, one right way to handle a situation. That's what I want to say. Um, each situation is unique just from the standpoint that everybody that you deal with, they are unique. They have their own personalities. They have their own way of responding to them. Toya said, I just asked them to straighten up. Why is it every time we talk, you have to be talking about somebody else? Okay, that's stern, that's firm, and you know, they ought to be able to hear that and understand where you're coming from. Michelle says, yes, I have them to repeat what I told to see if I'm saying it right. Oh, you must have meant I have them to repeat what I was told. I'm hoping that's what you're meaning, to see if I'm saying it right. Or do you repeat what's said to you to make sure you're saying it right? That would make a whole lot of sense right there. Player Hater says, I have no problem with that. If the chips don't fall right, in my opinion, I get you get new chips, huh? Okay, all right. Y'all are funny at times. Y'all are hilarious at times. But again, I'm glad you all have wonderful senses of humor. But in all seriousness, I think we all can um, learn lessons even from this discussion here tonight. And I hope that the next time any of us have to deal with or confront or be confronted by messy people, that these thoughts of wisdom that were shared here tonight, that they would come to mind instantaneously, and that you will handle that individual in a way that doesn't compromise your character or your reputation in any way. Again, I understand that no matter how you say it or what you say, some people are just going to take things the wrong way. But you continue to be who you are, continue to do the right thing in the best possible way that you can. And I guarantee you that your efforts will pay off in the long run. Is that good? Y'all all right with that tonight? I went a little longer than I intended, but it was only because you all had such engaging comments. I'm loving these discussions. I am absolutely loving the interaction and the engagement. All right. Well, that's it for tonight, y'all. Uh, I'll be back on here tomorrow night, and hopefully, I won't have the technical difficulties that I had tonight. But I'm looking forward to seeing you right back here on tomorrow evening, and hopefully, we'll be able to get it done a little earlier than we got it done tonight. Thanks for hanging with me during this late night hour. And I trust and pray that you all have a wonderful rest, a wonderful sleep tonight. And you know what? I'm going to steal something from Lady Ann that she always says. I'm going to encourage you to have a great day on tomorrow on purpose. How about that? Borrowed that from Lady Ann. That's a good saying. That right there is a phrase that adds value to the hearer. It adds value to other people. And so with that being said, I'm going to say to you, God bless and good night.